Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, March 26th. I'm almost a day ahead, and it is time for this week's Lunch with Lori online class. And as most of you know, it is the week of Easter, and so I realized, my computer is on, that I never showed my Easter cards from my card club from February. We used the Easter Lilies stamp set and bundle, Easter Lilies stamp set and dies. And if you know me, I always laugh and say that classy is not my thing, or pretty, or usually I've got the cute, fun cards that are more my speed. And so I asked my card club in January what they would like to see, and the one bundle that they all kind of voted on was the Easter Lilies. And I can only tell you how much that put me in a tailspin a little bit and brought me out of my box. So I figure if I came out of my box, maybe someone else also would need to do that. There's also the cute Easter bunny bundle, and there's also the Easter eggs, which are also very cute. Those are very specific to Easter. Not that the lilies aren't a spring, but they're more of a spring type flower that I think of. The only card that we're making today that even really says Easter is He is Risen, and that could easily be replaced with Happy Birthday or God is Good. And so it could be an all occasion, more all occasion stamp set of what you wanted to use it for. So the only one I'm going to do today that is the Easter is this one, and I will show you that in just a little bit. I am going to show you where you're using an online exclusive today, which is the Birds and Dragonflies. Oh my goodness, not butterflies. Birds and Dragonflies adhesive, I don't know what they're called, I'm going to be honest. Adhesive back to dragonflies and birds. Dragonflies are also not my thing. Hey Kathy, thanks for joining me. So we used a dragonfly. This is one of the cards. We're not going to make this one today. But this one has the dragonfly on it, and the cards today, two of the cards today are going to have birds. So let's get started. We're going to do some coloring today, which is a little different than our usual. Let me show you the bundle really quick. Easter Lilies. It is very pretty. It was scary, and I survived. I made my cards, and my husband, if you know my husband, he is very supportive. He's always supportive of my cards. If I ask him how do they look, he says they're great. And he came out after I was doing these cards for club, and he said they look like funeral cards. So if you need a sympathy card, the Easter Lilies are, oops, sorry, I moved my table, I hit it with my elbow, or my knee. They're perfect for those as well. I will point out that the new catalog is getting ready to come out, and it is definitely a different catalog. It's different than it has been in the past. But one thing that is going away and was on the last chance list was thick vanilla cardstock. And I'm using thick vanilla because that's what I had for this particular card. But I will tell you that the only vanilla that's left right now is the regular vanilla. The vanilla envelopes are also going away. And so if vanilla is one of your favorites, then I would suggest stocking up on those sooner than later so that you don't miss out. But the thick vanilla is already gone, but that is what I had already chosen for today. All right, so we're using Old Olive too. So not only did I use the stamp set that was freaking me out, we also used Old Olive. And if you know me, you also know that Old Olive is not my thing. So I have all the pieces. The three dies. These three dies will cut the flowers out, and I've cut those from regular vanilla. You could cut them in white also. You could make your lilies a color also. I cut the center of the flower from Lemon Lolly, and then I have three leaves that we're going to use. Actually, we need four for this one. The last one's over here for this particular card, and I, to save space, cut those out of here. When we put the panel on the front, you won't even notice that we've cut that out. So that's a great time, not time saver, a great space saver when you are die cutting. So I'm gonna start with our Old Olive ink, and we're gonna stamp God is So Good down in the right hand corner. And then we're gonna build from there. Then I'm going to take the palm leaves, and since we're building on top of it, there's no rhyme or reason necessarily, but I'm going to stamp 2 of the palm leaves kind of from the center of the panel. And those are going to be what I'm going to call the bed underneath the flowers. And they can overlap in the middle. I just re-inked my ink pad, so I hope that this, that it looks okay. Oh, it's a little blobby. All right, let's hope for the best here. Now, to do the other side, I'm gonna flip the palm leaf over this way, and I'm just going to stamp it like that. So it looks a little bit ugly right now, and luckily you won't be able to tell. Set my green aside. Now, I want to color my palm leaves just a little bit. And so we used the blender pens. And if you have blender pens, they are amazing. They come in a pack of 3. And you can use them to color. And in the past, you may have used these and you've used your ink pad. And for the life of me, I cannot get the Old Olive one to work today. And I can't get it, but you would squeeze your ink pad so that ink got on the lid, but unfortunately it's not working for me. So we're just gonna go with plan B, and we're just gonna use our blender pen right on the ink pad. Don't worry about the color, because we can use, and I suggest a white scrap just so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. I actually picked one of my older blender pens, and so it's a little bit dry. And you're just gonna color in your leaves, and we don't want it to be perfect. Yeah, this one is not. Let's try the other end. There we go. And if you don't color in the whole thing, that's okay, and just keep doing it. You can re-ink as you need to, and it's just a quick color. Some of your leaves can be darker or lighter, doesn't matter. Because it's more of a watercolor type of look. If you're watching and you have questions, please let me know. I'm not gonna color the center because you're not gonna see that center because it's gonna be covered up. My card club for April, in case you're wondering or have been looking for that, is going to be coloring techniques. We're going to talk about some various things. So I think that'll be fun. And that way I don't get stuck in the this is gone or that is gone with the last chance list and the new stuff hasn't arrived yet. So we're going to do some coloring techniques, and I think it'll be super. So look for more information about that soon. All right. So now you have a green, and I'm not sure if you can see on my blender pen, it's green. I'm going to take my scrap paper and I'm going to do it on white just so you can see. When you do that, you can color, just keep coloring it off on your scrap paper until you don't see that green anymore. Sometimes it takes a little bit because I probably put a little much. But over here you can see that I've almost gotten rid of my green. There we go. Well, almost. So just keep doing it until your green is gone. And then, there you go. You can see that it's not coloring. Oh, you can't see that. Not coloring on my grid paper. All right, so then we can cap that. And we're gonna come back and use that pen again in a little bit with a different color. All right, but for now, we're going to take our blending brush, and I want my leaves to be a little bit textured also. So I'm gonna brush the edges of those nothing huge, just enough to give it a little bit of shading on the leaves. And I'm going to do all 4 leaves like that as well. Should have already done that for you, so you didn't have to watch me do all 4, but I'm just coloring those so that, and part of them are going to be covered up anyway, so just a tap on your ink pad, and there we go. Now we're going to build the rest of our bed. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue the leaves directly to the panel. And that way I can just build from there. And this adhesive is almost empty and it's causing me a little bit of grief. There we go. Just put some adhesive on the bottom of our leaves. And then we can place them, don't have to cover the whole thing. We'll just place them, let's see, just so it is a little bed of leaves for our flower. I can always adjust if I need to. All right, so we have our bed of leaves for our flower to be on top of. And then we're going to build our flower, and these are the 3 pieces for the lily. The V-shaped piece is the back. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put some adhesive on that, and you'll notice that it has the rounded bottom. We're going to put the next piece right on top of that, and it fits right on that rounded piece. And then I actually put adhesive sheet on the back of my, and I can't remember if this is called the pistil or the stamen, of my flower. So I'm going to peel that off, and I'm going to put that right. I need to have this piece ready just in case, because I think it's easier to cover that if you put it on the back of that one. And then we'll just put that leaf right in there. Leaf, petal. And then, pretty simple. The dies work very nicely. They come off very quickly, come out of the dies, and you can make several of these quite easily. I'm going to use mini dimensionals so that our flower sticks up just a little bit, but I'm going to put adhesive on the bottom. I don't want my bottom to be as high as the top, so that way there's a little bit, almost an angle for the flowers. We're just going to place that lily right on top of those leaves. And then we'll go ahead and put the vanilla panel onto the old olive panel, and we will build our card. Once you get all your pieces cut, it's actually quite simple to assemble it. There we go. And then we'll put the last piece together. If you're watching, are you hosting Easter dinner this year? Does your family have a special Easter tradition? Let me know what your family does. Our big boys are gone, and they never really got too excited about Easter baskets or the Easter bunnies, so we have never been a real big celebrator of Easter. All right, I'm going to put in some birds, some of the little birds that just kind of are peaceful little doves is kind of what I think of when I see these. Let's go one that's going the other direction. And there you have it. And you could easily do with sympathy. You could do thinking of you, happy birthday. If you did a pink lily, that might be a little brighter. And I just did something on my sample. It was laying on the side and I accidentally shut it on my ink pad. So It's not just my customers who do it, I did it myself. All right, next card. Let's switch gears a little bit and do pink and white. I have all the pieces ready, and let's see. I'll start with this one, our layer, and I'm going to use my blending brush again with the Old Olive ink. Oh, yay! Who's making dinner, Lisa, that you don't have to? That's amazing. All right, and we're just gonna put some green just for a background, kind of on the middle of our white I use the perennial postage dies for this one. Lisa, if you didn't join us at the beginning, I said that I branched out and used this Easter Lily set and Old Olive. I used Old Olive on every single card for this particular class, and I was so proud of myself. So proud of myself. All right. Now, we've got the background done. That's ready. We could actually go ahead and glue that down. Let's get that out of the way. And we're going to put that on the Bubble Bath colored postage stamp die. And then I have a thick white base. To that. Now I would like to put some dimensionals behind this one. Yay, Rachel. That's very impressive. I wish somebody would order dinner. I mean, just any dinner would be fine for my family. Never seems to work that way, though. Oh, well. It's all right. It's all right. There will only be 3 of us, so... And goodness knows our 16-year-old son doesn't really care. As long as he gets to eat, he doesn't care what it is. All right. So, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the card. And I am going to point out that normally I tell you to use your blending brush and start off this side so that you don't have this green blob or whatever color you happen to be using. We're going to cover that with our flower so it doesn't, it's okay for this time. All right, now I have a piece of white and I'm going to, I put all the flower stamps on one block and I'm going to go ahead and ink those. Hopefully it works well. And then we're going to color them. I'm going to use the blender pen again. When you have a bigger stamp like this, or since I have it on the block, to put it across the ink is harder. So I just walk my ink pad right across the bottom. And then when you think you've got it, then I'm just going to stamp it on this white piece of paper. You know what, that's not perfect, but I'm actually not going to use this one, so I'm going to go ahead with it so you don't have to wait forever. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my words too so that I can put away my black ink pad and not get anything else dirty. Like I said, if you don't want to send an Easter card, He is risen, you could change that to the God is so good. You could do another saying, it's entirely up to you. Set this aside for just a second because we're going to do something with that in just a minute. I just want to close my ink pad. All right, I'm going to show you how to color the flowers, and we're going to use the Bubble Bath ink pad. So I have the ink pad, and this one I actually got squeezed this morning. So just squeeze the lid of your ink. And it gets some into, actually I guess this is the lid. Squeeze it, and so you can see that there's an ink blob in the thing. Now this shows green. Oh, that's not the right end. That would have been a tragedy. All right. Maybe this is not the right one either. I had 3 blender pens out here this morning. All right, this one's actually pink. but if you continue, you will not get your colors mixed up. All right, so I've got my pink ink, and I'm just gonna color the center of my flower. I don't want it to be all pink. I just want some color, and it's just like my my other flower, or the leaves. It's kind of a watercolor look. It's not a perfect color job. Sometimes people get a little bit hung up on perfection, and this kind of coloring is not really about perfection. I'm going to color the flowers. Just the pink part at the bottom. Just keep going back and forth to your ink. More color. All right, once you think you've got enough of that, then you can, as you can see, my color is not coloring on my grid paper, or hopefully you can see that on my grid paper. And then because I have it handy, I'm going to use my green one that I just tried to show you. And I'm going to color the stems with the old olive. Oh, I know why it didn't work. Right. We have our leaves. Now, in reality, I will die cut these and put them on the card. But I am not going to make you wait on me to do all my die cutting. So after you've got it colored, and like I said, this is kind of a quick, doesn't have to be perfect, because leaves are obviously not all the same color. And right now they are all still popping out. Some of the pretty floral trees are coming out right now, and that's my favorite. All right, we have all of our pieces, and I've cut. I prefer to color before I die cut. You might prefer to die cut and then color, but I feel like it's, I don't know, it's just easier for me. All right, but I have already die cut and colored just to make this go a little faster for you, so you're not wondering why in the world is she still showing me this. And I'm going to use some liquid glue just because these are smaller. Let me get things out of the way. And I'm just going to start at the bottom and build right up. I'm going to put all of these pieces flat. I'm putting adhesive on the back of the big flower, but I want to tuck the other pieces behind. So I'm gonna maybe tuck that one up there, and since I have glue on the back of that, then it'll stick. And then the other one like that, and then put some more glue on here, just so it all sticks nicely. Like I said earlier, that once you get all your pieces ready, it actually goes pretty quickly. And then we'll glue our flower down. Thank you, Rachel. I don't always do, it kind of matches my card. I always get nervous when I do lighter colors. I don't know why. Usually darker colors are my thing. Although a couple of times ago, I chose light blue. I never choose light blue. And it was actually the wrong color. Like the color in the dipping powder was the wrong color. And it turned out to be kind of almost a blue-gray. It was kind of a weird color. So I'm a little leery of the lighter colors. All right, so to do this little banner, I'm gonna trim off one side. And I've got that. Now, it always makes me nervous to have the same angle on the other end. So I'm actually going to flip my paper around. Hang on, there we go. Woo. The same angle that I just cut. I did it upside down again. There we go. And when I cut that, I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna go right across the same angle. Then my angles match. So I have the, whatever angle that is the same. I'm using a piece of bubble bath ribbon, and it is from the pack of 3. It's got Azure Afternoon, Lemon Lolly, and Pink, the bubble bath sheer ribbon combo pack, which is one of my favorites because I like all 3 of those colors. They were all new this year. And I'm going to just, I'm not tying a bow. You all know how I am. And I've got what looks like a bow, and I'm going to tape it right on the back. I might have made that a little big, but that's okay. Let's make it a little smaller. And my favorite, we're going to use Scotch tape on the back. Might have to be a little bit careful with your tape for this one because it's a little bit wide, so we might have to trim the edges. Should have made my banner a little bit bigger. That would have been smart. Hindsight is always 20/20. So then we have our bow. Then we're going to use dimensionals and put one on each end. And we will, I want to move it over a little more because why wouldn't I move things around that I've already got attached? See, I didn't tie a bow, but I still screwed it up. All right. All right. Here we go. Because it was going to be over the top of my flower. There we go. We have our pink bow. Trim the tails. Like I said, this could easily say happy birthday. It could, you know, it could be a sympathy card as well. Whatever the occasion. Thinking of you, get well soon. I think that would be perfect for any of those occasions. All right, last card. Here we go. This one I've already done most of the prep work. I did use the basket weave embossing folder. And it's one of my favorites. It's pretty versatile. Looks like this. So I have the lemon lolly, done with that. I used an old olive card base. Again, if you know me, you know this is a big deal. Go ahead and put as many of the pieces together as I can. Got my old olive card base. And then I did the same thing with the green base for this one. I cut the 3 leaves that I needed out of that, so I have that. I'm gonna go ahead and put down my basket weave embossing folder piece, and I am using regular adhesive. There's quite a few big pieces across the back that the adhesive will stick to, so I don't think we should have any problem with it coming off. And then I'm going to stamp my words, and for this one I'm going to use trust in the Lord with all your heart. That does not scream Easter. It screams that God will take care of you. So I think that could be used at any time, not just Easter. And I'm going to put that in the lower right corner as well, like I did the other one. Stand up so I can actually see my angle. I had trouble with the center, oh goodness, the center section earlier. Whew, thank goodness. All right. Now, I'm not going to, actually I'm going to go ahead while I have my green ink pad out, and I'm going to do the same thing to my leaves again. Go ahead and just give some color to the edge. And maybe you wouldn't notice if I didn't do that. And maybe you can't tell even from the video. But just give some depth. Doesn't have to be perfect or... Okay, now we have our pieces, and I can put away my green ink pad. Safety first. Okay, let's put this piece on. And again, the layer will be totally hidden. It has holes in it. You won't even be able to tell. Go ahead and dimensional that. When you do put something onto an embossing folder, it does help stick it a little better if you use dimensionals. Those are probably the easiest adhesive to use for that. I'll put one right in the middle. You don't want your cards falling apart. That'd be embarrassing. I've received cards in the past. I received one actually not too long ago that the adhesive didn't really stick very well, and I certainly didn't want to tell the person, hey, your card fell apart. All right, now let's put the flower together. This one I'm actually using white. The other one I used vanilla, so I'm not gonna color this one. Or am I? Yes, I am. But I'm gonna put it together first because that way I can see where I'm going to color. All right. So I'm starting with the V, and I'm gonna put oh goodness. Oh, the UPS man just scared me half to death. He rang my doorbell. Oh, I think it's a UPS trainee. The one guy is standing by the street making the younger girl do the delivery to the door. It's not very nice. It was not your card, Lisa. But you do know the person, so I'm not going to say anything else. But no, it was not your card. All right. Ooh, the trainee does get to drive the truck. That's very exciting. All right. And unfortunately, she just brought part of my pre-order. I was not able to attend the Stampin' Up! Convention, the on stage in Houston 2 weeks ago because we were on spring break. But because I was registered for the event, I was able to pre-order some fun things. So my pre-order from the new catalog is, part of it is here. The rest of the pre-order I can do at the beginning of April. So if you are watching and you need a catalog, please let me know, and I will happily get one to you. All right, so I have my flower put together. This time, I actually want to color a little bit of yellow. I'm going to use the bubble bath, but I have to find my bubble bath. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to do the same thing again, except I'm going to use bubble bath. And I think the newer ink pads are a little bit, I think they might be a little taller, so they don't squish as nicely as the old-fashioned ones. Yeah, it didn't work very well. So we may have to come back in on our, we're just going to color a little bit, just enough to give a little color around the center. So, because a lot of flower centers kind of have a little bit of a yellow color to them. Simple, quick. Just adds a little bit of color, a little bit of depth. All right, now we're gonna put our flower together, and I'm gonna figure out where I want to put my leaves because I want them not to be in the way. But I'm gonna glue. I'm just gonna put adhesive on the back of my flower, and then go from there. Because I want my flower to kind of sit right there in the corner. Might need a little more because I covered up part of it. Do any of you watching, do you make Easter cards? I guess I'm a slacker. I do not. Well, except for my classes, and then everybody else gets Easter cards, but not me. All right. I think that'll work. And put dimensionals on the back of this as well, just so it stands up just a little bit. But before I do that, I want to show you the ribbon. I'm going to put a ribbon on the back, and it's going to look something like this, which totally reminds me of a flower corsage for Mother's Day, for prom, for, you know, some other wrist corsage. But this ribbon that I'm using is actually very vanilla with gold trim. And when you put it, it's vanilla and gold, but when you put it next to or on top of the Lemon Lolly cardstock, you cannot tell the difference. And it is perfect for your Lemon Lolly colored cards. So I'm gonna make this swoop here. Actually, last night, I had card club last night. We talked coffee last night. The Latte Love was a big hit. And I called this little maneuver of the ribbon, I called it a swoopy swoop. Not sure that that's a technical real term, but that's what I called it. So follow me for more language learning. All right, so I'm gonna get the ribbon kind of where I think I want it. And then I'm gonna put it on with tape. For me, that is just the easiest. All right, now I'll continue with my dimensionals. So like I said, none of these cards scream Easter. They scream nice, subtle, pretty flowers, which is not my usual. Yeah, like I said, bright, cheery colors are more my usual speed. And here I am with all the pastels and Old Olive, turning over a new leaf. Literally, I have these leaves, and there you have it. Oh, but it needs a butterfly. I almost forgot a butterfly. Not a butterfly. There are no butterflies on here. Dragonflies and birds. But for this one, I feel like a nice little bird. A nice dove. And there you have it. Here's my 3 cards for today. 1, 2, and 3. If you would like these card kits, this class is free, of course, to watch, but if you would like to receive the card kits in the mail and you place a $35 order on my website, you will receive the card kits for free. If you spend $50, I will send you a package of the dragonflies and butterflies to use on all your projects. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you all have a fabulous Easter with your family, and you get lots of chocolate and family time. And I'll see you back here next week. I'm not sure yet what we're talking about next week, but we will probably go toward the bright and cheery side. We'll see how that works out. So anyway, have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.